Today we're making homemade almond butter in our Vitamix. No added oil, and we're starting with raw almonds. And this is like nothing you can get in the store. It's 100% almonds and 100% of the almonds. This is one of those recipes where you're gonna say, I will never, ever, ever buy store-bought again. It's also one of those where you're gonna share with your friends and they're gonna say, what? How did you do that? You're gonna say, well, made it in my Vitamix. Shalva and Lenny Gill showed me how to do it. All right, here we go. Let's get started. We're going to use the 64-ounce low-profile container that came with our Vitamix A3500. We're going to start with 4 cups of raw almonds. Spread it out on a cookie sheet. We're going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 175 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Not a minute more, not a minute less. And about halfway through, we'll flip them and just do your best here. Just kind of shake them around. After 10 total minutes have passed, take the almonds out of the oven. Remove the almonds from the cookie sheet. Put them in a separate bowl or something and let them cool. This is important. They'll keep cooking if they sit on the cookie sheet, and we don't want almond butter tasting like burnt almonds. We want to let them cool back down to room temperature. So let them sit on the counter for an hour, or if you want to move things along, stick them in the fridge for 15 minutes because they're going to get pretty warm again when we put them back into the container and blend. And we want to make sure things don't get too hot. All right, so we'll add all the almonds into the Vitamix container. Of course, we'll secure the lid, grab the tamper, and get ready to blend. You can use the nut butter setting if you have one, or just start on variable speed 1 and quickly ramp up to 10. So we're going to use the tamper to push the nuts from the corners down into the blade, and you're going to hear a high-pitched chugging noise, and that's totally normal. Your Vitamix is built to do this. As long as you're on variable speed 10, high speed, the highest speed it can go, we're good. Remember, this is a more challenging method. We're starting with raw almonds, and we're not adding any oil. If you want to make it a little easier for yourself, you can start with roasted almonds, or you can add a half a cup of flavorless oil. That'll make it easier and take fewer minutes to turn these almonds into almond butter. So we're going to blend, and we're going to tamp, and we're going to push everything down. And if you get tired or simply want to see your progress, totally cool, stop and take a look. Now, don't be discouraged if it's not creamy yet. It'll get there. And you can always take a spatula on the sides if you want to get kind of some of those pieces that the tamper didn't pick up. Remember how I said to make sure that your nuts cool down back to room temperature? Well, we actually didn't do that. So that's why Shalva brought out the hot mitt. We didn't wait long enough. And if it's still not creamy enough, run it for another minute or two. All right, after about 6 to 7 to 8, maybe 9 minutes all together, you're going to have creamy, homemade, delicious, like the best almond butter that you've ever had. It's like, you just have to try it. You have to, and share it. Tell everyone. Cleanup is easy and actually pretty rewarding. There are 3 steps. 1, grab some frozen fruit and some sort of liquid. We're using almond milk. Throw it in your Vitamix and make yourself a smoothie. These are the best smoothies ever with homemade almond butter. Delicious. Step 2, standard cleaning cycle. Warm water, a couple drops of soap, 30 seconds, or the cleaning program. And then step 3, take a scrub brush and just get any of the nut butter that didn't get off. And if you want to go the extra mile here, run 1 more cleaning cycle. Enjoy your creamy, delicious almond butter on toast or fruit like banana or apple, or just out of a spoon. It's just that every time we make this, I say, well, we're never going back. How could we ever get store-bought again? And I really think this is the last time. And guys, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell to get notified. And if you appreciate videos like this, hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, we made this 4 days ago, and this is all that's left.
Hey guys, I hope you're doing great. Okay, before we start, I just wanted to apologize for my lack of energy in this video. I just noticed that it looks like I'm literally dead, and this week I was so tired and I didn't realize that it showed this much. Please excuse me for this. I still hope you enjoy this video. Today I want to share with you 3 recipes, nut butter recipes or homemade spread that you can use on your toast, in your oatmeal. Honestly, possibilities are endless. I sometimes use them in a dressing. So I've been buying nut butter for the past year or so, and I used to make it myself, but I've been really lazy too, and I want to get back into the habit of making my own things because not only it's way healthier well, it depends. If you're going to an organic shop, usually they're healthy, but it's pretty healthier and it's mostly way cheaper, and you also use less packaging. Nut butter can get really expensive if you are going for the healthy versions. Peanut butter is still, to my opinion, the cheapest. Ooh, the cheapest one. Now, if you make them organic at home, they're still gonna be a pricey thing, but they're gonna be way less than if you buy them in a store. And usually if you go for the cheapest version in the store, it's full of additives and sugars and oil, and depending on where you live. So stay till the end of the video, because at the end I'm gonna share with you 5 tips that have helped me to master the art of nut butters. So I hope that they're gonna help you too. But for now, let's get into the recipes. The first step I do in any nut butter is I roast the nuts slightly. This helps to pull out the oil of the nuts a little bit, and it helps in the process of making nut butter. So I use simple peanuts, natural peanuts, and I roast them 6 minutes 30 on the grill. I'll have other information in the description box if you don't have a grill. I let it cool 2 or 3 minutes and I add everything to a food processor. I like to add just a tiny amount of salt, really not much. So don't overdo it, it's just to make it even better in taste. And then I start the food processor, and this takes a while. I mean, it goes through different phases, powder, and then it kind of sticks together. It forms a little ball, a little dough, and then after this is the time it gets liquid again. These steps are the same for all the nut butter, so I'm just showing you how it works here, and then I'll show you without explaining for the other nut butters, and you're left with a very smooth result. This version of almond butter is a little higher in protein because I like to add flax seeds to it. Just wanted to show you another option to roast your nuts. If you don't have any oven, you can totally do it in a pan. Just slightly brown them. Flax seeds are really high in omega-3s and DHA and vitamin E, which makes it really a healthy, balanced nut butter. And again, we'll just go through the same process as peanut butter. You may have to scrap down the bowl a little more and wait a little longer. I start with the almonds and then I add the flax seeds when it's done, and then I have my almond butter. Who doesn't love a creamy and rich and chocolatey spread? I mean, if you don't, who are you? I like to do it half peanuts, half hazelnut. The reason for it is peanuts are the easiest to blend and to get into butter, and hazelnut gives a really nice taste. Same thing, I add everything to the food processor. Once it's turned into liquid, that's when I add either 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder or 2 tablespoons of chocolate protein powder. I like it kind of unsweetened, but if you wish to add sugar, do so after blending in your little jar. I hope you enjoy those recipes. As I told you before, I have a few tips that I want to share with you that may help you to get the perfect nut butter. So the first tip is to use natural nuts, totally natural, not even roasted, not even salted, just very natural, because not only it's gonna be healthier if they're not salted, if they don't have any additives, but also it's gonna be cheaper because you will pay an extra for roasting your nuts, and honestly, you can do this yourself. Also, if you do it yourself, you can kind of roast them, but not too much. Actually healthier to have like raw nuts, so you can kind of roast them so that it gives a nice little taste and it's helping the process of making nut butters, but it's not too roasted either. The second tip is to use a food processor and not a blender. Trust me, I've used all like my super highest quality blender and it's really horrible. Like, it takes an eternity. It broke my blender once. It's just not good. So I would highly recommend use a food processor. Also, it's a cheaper alternative to a blender. Make sure you use a blade that is an S shape. This will make nut butter way less of a hassle. It's way faster, and yeah, it's just like a better option in my opinion. Third tip, of course, when you make nut butter, be patient. Because it will take some time. Peanut butter, you can get it in around 4, 5, 6 minutes. Almond butter is way longer, so you may have to wait a little more, like 10 minutes, or even like scrub down the bowl of your food processor. Hazelnut is pretty fast. Cashew butter is pretty fast, but almond butter is really long. So be patient, that's my tip. My fourth tip kind of mixes with the previous tip. Don't add water. Like, don't be like, oh, this is too hard, it's never gonna get liquid, I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of water. Don't. Because water and oil, I mean, any water that you're gonna add to your preparation, it will make it unstable on the shelf and it won't last at all. In around like 2 or 3 days you will have mold in your nut butter. It's a mistake I've made like years ago. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna add a bit of water just to make it was the end of the jar, just to make it like pourable again. No. I actually have an extra tip for you and I totally forgot it, and it's one of the most important. Don't add sugar to the food processor while it's blending, because this will do exactly this and it will never get liquid again. So if you want to sweeten your nut butter, the best is to add it after everything is blended. Once it's in a jar, when it's cooled down, then you can add sugar, but most of the recipes don't require actually any sugar. And my last tip is to be creative with your nut butter. I love to add add-ons in my butters. So for example, peanut butter, whether I buy it from a store or I make it my own, I love to add a little extra in there, like goji berries, nuts and seeds and things like that. I think it makes it fun. It's like faster in the morning. You just take a big tablespoon of your nut butter and it has extra little minerals and vitamins. It's a tip that I got from Pickup Lime, I think a while ago, and I've been using it and I love it. So this is my last little tip. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed those tips. Let me know what's your favorite nut butter. And if I can be of any help, leave your comment, leave your question below and I will answer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click subscribe because it's free and it would make me really happy. Alright, well, I'll see you soon in my next video.
I love homemade almond butter because it's healthy, it's delicious, and it's super easy to make. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make almond butter in your Vitamix with only one ingredient, roasted almonds. Roasting the almonds is an important step because it releases their natural oils and prevents you from having to add additional oils to get that perfect, creamy consistency. Start by spreading 4 cups of raw almonds onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Roast the almonds for 15 minutes at 350 degrees and let them cool to room temperature. Once they are cool, add them to your blender. I love my Vitamix, which I highly recommend for making nut butters. The Vitamix has a powerful motor and it comes with a tamper that makes blending things like nut butters more efficient than other blenders. Place the tamper into the lid and blend the roasted almonds at high speed. Use the tamper to push the almonds down into the blades and blend until smooth and creamy. The entire blending process should only take about 1 to 2 minutes. Pour the almond butter into a glass container like this weck jar and cover. Almond butter can be stored in the refrigerator for several weeks. My favorite way to eat almond butter is on homemade sourdough toast, and it's even better topped with a little strawberry chia seed jam. I'll leave a link to both of those recipes in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more simple and healthy recipes that you'll want to make. Until next time, bye!